Hey Mike, it's me, and in today's video, I'm looking at this. This is A Man for All Seasons from 1966. It's 120 minutes, 2 hours long. It's a historical drama. It's 89% on Rotten Tomatoes, reflecting, I think, how well thought of this is. And it is a brilliant film, it really is. In fact, it won 6 Oscars. Yes, 6 Oscars at the 39th Academy Awards. It was made on a budget of $2 million and at the box office made $28.4 million. Absolutely brilliant. Now, its screenplay is by Robert Bolt and it's based on his play from 1960, A Man from All Seasons. And what a great screenplay we've got here. Really brilliant. And it's directed by Robert Zinnemann. Outstanding films he directed from a career from 1936. High Noon, 1952. From Here to Eternity, 1953. Oklahoma, 1955. The Nun Story, 1959. The Day of the Jackal, 1973. That's a brilliant political thriller. And Julia, 1977. Locations, we've got Studley Priory in Horton Hill, Oxfordshire. We've got Bolo River in Hampshire. And we've got Hampton Court Palace. Oh, yeah. They had to film it there, didn't they? Add so much to the atmosphere. That's in Moseley. And we've also got Bowline Abbey in Hampshire. Excellent. Now, let's look at the cast. It's edited by Paul Schofield, who plays Sir Thomas More. Fantastic role. He did incidentally play this in the stage production as well. So there we are. He was a natural choice. Though it said that they wanted Olivier originally, the producers, to do this. But no, we've got the one who I think he just deserves to have this part. He's brilliant at it. Classically trained actor, a lot of theatre. But films that stand out, Carve Her Name with Pride, 1958. King Lear, of course, 1971. Scorpio, 1973. Henry V, 1989, which is Kenneth Branagh production. And The Crucible, 1996. Then we've got Wendy Hiller, who plays Alice Moore. Her career goes back from 1939. Pygmalion, 1938, are films that stand out. How to Murder a Rich Uncle, a great title that, 1957. Separate Tables, 1958. Sons and Lovers, 1960. Murder on the Orient Express, of course, 1974. Big Agatha Christie film. Voyage of the Damned, 1976. And, of course, the brilliant The Elephant Man, 1980. Some great films there. Then we've got Leah McKern, who plays Thomas Cromwell. Well, he was in The Unknown, 1956, and Yesterday's Enemy, 1959. Both Hammer films. Yesterday's Enemy I've talked a lot about before. Wonderful film. The Dead Year Stood Still, 1961. Help, Beatles film, 1965. Ryan's Daughter, what a film, 1970. French Lieutenant's Woman, another great film, 1981. Lady Hawk, 1985. But he's really well known in TV terms of Rumpole of the Bailey from 1978 to 1992. Then we've got Orson Welles, yes, playing Cardinal Wolsey It's not a big appearance, but it's there right at the beginning. Dominant appearance. Um, I don't need to go through all the films, but well, I'll just say Citizens Kane, 1941, Third Man, 1949, but a whole host of films, and also as a director as well. Then we've got Robert Shaw, who plays King Henry VIII. Just a couple of films or so. Battle of Britain, 1969. Young Winston, 1972. But he's really well known, obviously, as Jaws, 1975. Then we've got Susanna York, who plays Margaret Moore. She's his daughter in this. Of course, she was in Tom Jones, 1963. The Killing of Sister George, 1968. The Battle of Britain, that was 1969. A lot of people are in Battle of Britain. They Shoot Horses, Don't They, 1969. And Superman 2, 1980. And more. But she's a great film actress, and she was in TV things as well. Then, of course, the wonderful John Hurt, who plays Richard Rich. This film actually really propelled him forward into getting noticed. Films, of course, that he were involved in, and there's a massive list. I'll just mention a few. Of course, 10 Rillington Place, 1971. Midnight Express, 1978. Alien, 1979. Who can not forget him in Alien? The Elephant Man, of course. What an outstanding performance, 1980. And of course, I've got to mention Doctor Who on the 50th anniversary in 2013. He played the War Doctor. Yes, wonderful that was. Then we've got Nigel Davenport, who plays the Duke of Norfolk. He was in Peeping Tom, 1960. The Virgin Soldiers, 1969. Villain, the one with Richard Burton from 1971. It was in Mary, Queen of Scots, 1971. Chariots of Fire, 1981. So very interesting films. Then we've got Corin Redgrave, who plays William Roper. He was in Charge of the Library in 1968. Oh, What a Lovely War, 1969. Excalibur, what a film that is, 1981. In the Name of the Father, 1993. Four Weddings and a Funeral, 1994, which is a very popular film. Then, of course, we've got his sister. It's not a big role. Apparently, she didn't do this without any payment, but I think they did want her in a bigger role in the film, but she did this. So that's Vanessa Redgrave as Anne Boleyn. She was in all sorts of films. What a career, but also stage as well. But she's in Blow Up, 1966, sorry. Isadora, 1968. The Devils, 1971. Mary, Queen of Scots, 1971, of course, with Glenda Jackson as Elizabeth I. Fantastic. Julia, 1977. Girl Interrupted, 1999. And Atonement, 2007. Amazing films. And just someone I'd just like to mention, because I think it's, when I see her, I think, wow. Eutha Joyce, it's not a big role in this film, but she was Avril Mackin. Eutha Joyce, of course, popped up in all sorts of roles I've seen her. She was in Fanatic, Hammer film, 1965. She was in Fragment of Fear. That stars David Hemmings, incidentally, in 1970. But when you say Eutha Joyce, people think Man About the House, 1973 to 1976 TV series, and even more than George and Mildred, 1976 to 1979. She was so loved as an actress. those were great comedies that she starred in on the TV series. I just thought I would need to mention her from that. She's just somebody you've got to admire, and well, I certainly do for what she did. But it's nice to see her in this film, even if it is a small role. But yeah, it's great to see. So you're saying Fayeki's going on a bit. What's this film about? Well, this period covers 1529 to 1535, and it is, of course, the reign of King Henry VIII, who was probably one of the most famous kings that is known about. Everybody has this image of the big, bloated, fat bloke, because this is his younger period, and it was different. Also, he was a very learned king as well as into hunting and that. He was hunting all his wives, but he was amazing. Music, he composed music, for instance, things like that. Amazing, which is, for a king is good. Um, and what this film is about is, of course, his chief advisor for a time, which is Sir Thomas More. Sir Thomas More becomes the Lord Chancellor, not for that long period of time, but Henry, you see, wants a male heir. Now you're thinking, why? A male heir was often needed, and the establishment often looked at it as important, particularly after the War of the Roses ended in 1485, and stability was needed in the country. And we got, of course, Henry VII, his dad, took over as king. But people were still very much remembering what happened, the power of all the, nobility, the barons and the dukes, who were often vying for power. And they were a real threat. And therefore, it's felt that a male king, though, of course, you could argue you've got a very strong queen with Queen Elizabeth, but at the time it was felt they needed a strong male. And that's why Henry was very much, it would strengthen the crown. But Sir Thomas More, very much a Renaissance kind of man, very a man who is enlightened, but also he's traditional as well, and traditional in terms of his faith, the Catholic Church, and therefore, when Henry is pushing him to support getting a divorce, it's something he cannot contemplate. They can't get the marriage annulled. Catherine of Aragon, they cannot get that annulled. So it puts him in a situation where Sir Thomas More has to stand up for his principles. This is what the film is about. A man standing up for what he believes in. That he could even have fallen straight up into conforming, but he doesn't. He refuses to accept the Church of England, really. And he won't accept Henry VIII as defender of the faith, as he was known. He couldn't accept that. This is what the film brilliantly portrays, how he's standing up. And Henry he was so close with him. We see them, but he won't give in. And it just when the film starts, you already get the indication with Cardinal Wolsey, which Orson Welles plays, how big a issue this all is about. It is a massive issue, and as it continued to be for quite a while, and Sir Thomas More is seen ultimately, and the Catholic Church even saw him as a martyr to their cause. He became a saint. In fact, they made him a saint for his stance, because ultimately he was executed for his stance. And it's an amazing film because we get all the dilemmas of him, but his principles are still there. And it's something that people like to see, people standing up in authority. And this, in the historical context, is an amazing achievement. This film portrays it so well. I can see now why it did so well, because it's from a brilliant play, but the film translates that play so well, and the performances of the actors, particularly Paul Scofield, you just really feel how the principle is so important, and his faith to him. Amazing. It is absolutely amazing film. Absolutely love it. And that, what else can I say? But I highly recommend it. If you love historical films, this is one of those. But it's more than that. It's more than an historical film. And it's more than just a biography of a man. It's something greater than that. And it's a great piece of filmmaking. Before I go, here it is. You've seen this anyhow, but there we are. There's the back. Some great extras. Absolutely wonderful extras on here about the film. Putting it all in context. Great documentaries. And that's it, really. Yes. So all I've got to say is, hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, and then we'll let you know when I put out these videos. And you can look at the playlist and see do all sorts of things. Hopefully you might enjoy films, TV series, as nostalgia-based, a bit of music as well. Also, if you like this particular video, please give it a like. It gets it out into algorithms and YouTube and all that sort of stuff. Can't say fairer than that. And it all costs notes, I'd love to read your comments. Please put some comments down if you've got any about the film. Anything, and that's it. Yes. So all I've got to say is, I'll see thee again.